Hey, Shalom, it's your brother Yonathan. All right, first and foremost, want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakaha Kodash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Didn't get to go to camp tonight or make videos the past 2 days. I don't know if it's the flu or whatever, but I'm getting through it, you know. Taking the herbs and praying to the Lord, and I'll be fine. Now, I figured I'd make a response video to some of these clips that I saved. So we're going to start from the top and go through the bottom. We might go through all of them. We might go through a couple. All right, but the first one I want to go to is the one right here at the top left. Now, what separates the scriptures from everything else? What makes the scriptures stand head, toes, and shoulders, and toes above every other philosophy or information is the prophecies of the book. They don't fail. And through the prophecies, you can filter what has happened in history or what is getting ready to happen and basically see if it checks out. Okay? If it filters through the scriptures and it makes sense and it lines up, then you know, oh, okay. This is true and this is right. All right, so this first clip I want to show it to you guys will be some precepts.
Bro, why so heavy? Look at my hand. Trying to hold this up, bro. 18 hours every day.
Everything fighting. Return. This is light chain. Light chain is used for children or babies. Please, they have to put this iron brother into fire. When it's very hot, the pierce their lips.
A little?
Yeah. While they fix this, I use a small padlock to hook it up for them not to be able to eat while working in sugarcane plantation or to communicate whenever they are working.
All right, you said, goddamn, right? But in the scriptures, it was told to the nation of Israel via Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that they would go into a captivity where they would have yokes of iron upon their necks. Now, when you go, let's go Google yokes of iron. Let's see what we get here. All right. You go through these images, what people come up. And it used to be more distinct images with the Israelites, right? But because we're going to this point often the time, Google has striked a lot of the images down. Okay, look at this. It used to be hundreds of images showing you who went into slavery with yokes of iron upon their necks. Hundreds of images. But, you know, Esau, he can't have us just keep bringing these things out and proving that he's a liar. Okay, but there's one people that went into captivity with yokes of iron upon their necks. That's undeniable. Who fits, you know, the curses in Deuteronomy in the 28th chapter. It's like, if you're a detective, those are all clues to point to who the suspect is, who the righteous people are, and there's, you know, particular things that go on in the scriptures that point you to who the wicked are. You know? Watch that clip one more time.
So heavy. Look at my hand. Trying to hold this up, bro. 18 hours every day.
Everything fighting. Return. This is light chain. Light chain is used for children or babies. Please, they have to put this iron brother into fire. When it's very hot, they pierce their lips.
A little?
Yeah. While they fix this, I use a small padlock to hook it up for them not to be able to eat while working in sugarcane plantation or to communicate whenever they are working.
All right, so I believe we're still recording. Right. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 48, just to prove the point. This is in the curses, man. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. In hunger, so to get food, all your food is going to come from the people that, colonized you, trafficked you. All right? In hunger and in thirst. We don't grow our own food as a nation. We don't have sovereignty over what's in the food. The FDA, we don't have a say in what they say is okay to eat, what should not be served to people in this country. And in nakedness. Even our clothes, the clothes on our backs, come from these companies that our people don't have dominion over. Even if Jake said, "Oh, I got my own clothing brand," but yeah, who's the manufacturer? Who's manufacturing all these materials that you wear? There's certain laws you can't keep. We're not supposed to wear mixed fabrics. But just off the rip, because of this curse, you can't even keep the law perfect. That's a topic for another day. All right? And in nakedness, and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So boom, there it is. Okay, again, prophecy sets the scriptures apart from any other information in the earth. Okay? Let's go to this next clip, and this next one's about 3 minutes, but we'll let it play. And she goes off a little bit on some things. Obviously, she's an Edomite woman. But after we watch it, I want you to ask yourself, who else does shit like this? Who else has these secret societies where they're worshiping, ancient deities and doing rituals? And come on, man, let's watch it.
Family history. This is an antique family photo. A lot of you want to know what it meant. Who was the nanny with the horns?
And down there in the photo at the bottom, in the middle, in the black long coat next to the guy in the beige long coat, you can see Jacob Rothschild.
It's not a nanny. It has to do with like this tradition, custom, ritualistic ball. And it's called the Rothschild Surrealist Ball. And it started way back then. Yesterday I told you about their family history and who they are. What they want the world to know.
They go back to the ancient Bauer, ancient? Yeah, I guess so. The Bauer family, and when they started their bank, okay, they called it the Red Shield Bank, and in the German it's Rothschild. So that's how you would say it. So that's how they got that name. All right.
Wikipedia has a whole bunch of stuff on them, but I'm going to tell you what Wikipedia won't tell you. This means something. It's not just a weird costume. Every costume has a lot of symbolic meaning, and we're going to break it down. Rothschilds are real party animals. They have been hosting the weirdest, most elaborate parties for hundreds of years. Hundreds. Someone asked me if that was the nanny. The real question is, do you see how tall that entity is? Keep that in mind. The horned figure has to do...
All right, the point is they have these ritualistic parties. They do it out in the open in media, in entertainment industry. Who else does these kind of things? Who has control over these industries? Sports, music, media. Who fits the bill of the synagogue of Satan? Who fits the bill of, he comes after the working of Satan? I'll let the rest of the clip play and we'll get those precepts.
With some people called the Chateau. The Chateau are Freemasons from ancient Egypt. The Chateau were the people that helped Amun-Ra escape when there was the Second Pyramid War. You know, when the Anunnaki bloodlines started warring with each other because Marduk wanted to be in command and he wanted to kick out Enlil and Enki, his father and his uncle. All about that. And it also can go back all the way.
And in modern Christianity, they take those stories of Marduk and Ra and all those made-up gods from Egypt, Babylon. They take them and they've fabricated and woven it into Christianity, to where people think that a third of the angels actually fought against Yahweh and were cast down. They don't understand what it's talking about in the scriptures, because this spell has been casted on them that has nothing to do with the scriptures at all. Just a little, tangent.
To the lands of Canaan and the worshiping of Baal, the demon with the horns, with the goat head. Every time that they host one of these elaborate balls, you're always going to have someone is wearing horns, a deer head, goat head, horns. Someone has to be, because it's part of the tradition, it's part of the ritual. These parties are also a ritual. Important families like them will call them family traditions. I call them rituals. So the tradition is the hypothetical ritual. These parties are not just parties where you go, you have fun, and you dress up. There are after-party activities also, which include the ancient tradition of hunting down the stag. I really think that that movie about the bride that was marrying into that millionaire family, and they all did this weird game that they went around, trying to get her at the end, and if they didn't get her by the next day, then she won. You know what I'm talking about? That's the kind of after party I'm talking about. These family traditional things, which intrigues so many people on so many levels. Now, if you'd like to know more about how they did...
Well, that's enough from you. All right, let's go get some precepts here. Okay. All right. Huh. Okay. There we go. All right, this is Revelation 2 and verse 9 right here in the middle. It says, I know thy works and tribulation. The Lord knows we're under the curses. He knows we're catching hell. But the remnant are going to continue to strive lawfully, even in this downtrodden position. All right, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Why? Because the promises in world dominion and everlasting kingdom pertains unto us, nonetheless, even though we're in this state right now. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, who in the earth is recognized internationally as the actual people of God. On paper. All right? There is a people who's masquerading as the actual people, but they're actually identity thieves. All right? I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Okay? So there's a people who are masquerading as the Lord's people, but they don't even fit the description that the Lord's people would be in this time. Okay, now let's go to, all right. And we'll read it in the NLT over here on the right. All right, this is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 7. It says, for this lawlessness is already at work and will remain secret until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way. And Paul was basically alluding to the fact, during his time the Romans were ruling, he was alluding to the fact that the people that were in power at the time were the very people who the scriptures call the wicked. Right? As you can see over there on the left in verse 8, it says, and that wicked shall be revealed. But we're going to read it in the NLT on the right here. Then the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Yahushua will kill him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by the splendor of his coming. You can read about that in 2 Ezra, the 13th chapter. Verse 9, it says, this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. And he's going to do a lot of that with his AI. All right, verse 10, he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction, because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. 2/3 of our people, all right, they're allotted to destruction. And remember, the Lord doesn't want a lot of our people to even get it. Matthew, the 13th chapter, for it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And you got to remember, the same spirits that were murmuring in the wilderness, the same spirits that said, raise it, not self-select, not raise it, that said, crucify him, let his blood be upon us and our children. All right, those spirits are back here today. The same spirits that were killing the prophets. Okay, so they got a judgment to pay for here on this side. That's why you could talk to particular people who aren't stupid. You might talk to somebody who's very intellectually capable, but if the spirit isn't dealing with them to see these things, they just won't get it. It won't resonate with their spirit. There's particular people who are allotted to destruction in the Lord's movie. All right, now let's go to the next clip here. I was going to read the third one. Watch the third one. Let me see. What's this one going into?
Directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, when certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind.
Fascist.
Fascist.
Fascist political party.
Radicals on the far right.
Anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic.
Xenophobic.
Transphobic.
Uncle Tom's
White supremacist.
domestic terrorist.
Neo-Nazi organizer.
Nazis.
You are an anti-vaxxer.
Anti-vaxxers.
Racist.
Racist. Racist. Racist.
The following...
So they're always coming up with terms to demonize people who call them out on their evil. And they especially have terms for us. That's why we hear when anybody talks about the Hebrew Israelites, they say, oh, the black Hebrew Israelites. These anti-Semitic groups, these black supremacy groups, these BHIs. What did BHI be? Black Hebrews. I forgot what the BHI was. Yeah, they got so many damn names for us. And they're going to come out with more, man. And they're going to use those terms and try to categorize us to justify removing or eliminating people that are seen as a threat to their ultimate plan, which is to enslave the masses of the people on an entirely different level and extend their kingdom from a temporary one to an eternal one. Okay? So that's all, that's their agenda. That's the motive. All right, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I guess I'll respond to the rest of these a little later. Yep, that'll be that. So, Abaratazah, it was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Hakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth and sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.